What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the WWE After Dark episode. My name is Luis Gonzalez. I'm your host, and holy shit, I just came out of a Royal Rumble party with my friends. I don't know how you guys celebrate when you watch PLEs. I typically watch them at home by myself, but for the big ones, I'm trying to see it with friends. I'm in my car. I literally just walked into my car, zipping my seatbelt. Had to give initial reactions of just the whole event. And man, what a great time. What a great time to watch it with my friends. It was like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, like 8 of us. We came together. We had pizza, beer, chips, donuts, and everyone was just vibing. It was such a great experience. And we were able to bring people who were not into wrestling, people who had been out of wrestling for a little while. And it just made an impact on everybody who was watching. Wow, what a great show and what great storytelling. That was the biggest thing that we all noticed was the way that they're able to tell different stories and how the women's rumble varied from the men's rumble, how, that tag team match, it started off a little slow, but it was a nice refresher after going through an hour more than an hour for the women's wrestling, for the women's Royal Rumble. So after you go into the tag team, you're there for 10 minutes. It's a little slow. And then that picked back up, which was nice. But it was a nice breather because you had so much action in that first women's Royal Rumble. And my God, the Cody and KO match. I mean, that could have been a main event on its own if it wasn't on Royal Rumble. What an incredible match. So many... just great storytelling moments. You were able to track what everyone was thinking, what everyone was doing. You saw the history of everybody who was involved. Yes, there were a couple botches. We talk about Penta. We can talk about some of, things that were happening in the other matches. But for the most part, everyone was just spinning and running on all cylinders. And it was just entertaining from the beginning to end. At least that's the experience it was with a big crowd. I think if you're by yourself, it is a very different experience where you are just kind of self-critiquing, but you do live on a high when you're with a bunch of people. I mean, you can hear me. I just literally walked out of my friend's place, and we all just had a fantastic, fun time. What a great, PLE, really, I feel like to start off the whole year. And man, we all thought CM Punk was going to win. We all thought, even they were pushing in the storyline that CM Punk was going to win. And when I watched it on SmackDown and Raw, I was just like, this guy, I can see him with the belt. I can see him taking down Cody. I already had it in my mind. It was CM was going to win. A bunch of people thought the same thing. I was like, oh, should I bet this? I'm pretty sure CM's going to win. And he didn't. I thought CM would win. He would challenge Cody, and then John Cena would win Elimination Chamber and win and face against Gunther. But John Cena was very heavily protected. He comes out and, at a time when everybody came out from the Rumble after their entrance, they show off for like the first 30 seconds in a minute, show off who they are. And with John Cena, it was like just kind of a Mexican standoff, just people staring at each other. It seemed like they really protected Cena from getting too many of his heavy hits. He was played very safe. And, Jey Uso winning, he deserves it. When we're thinking about it, who's it going to be? Will it be CM Punk? Will it be, like I said, John Cena? Jey Uso, he is just on a high right now. Everybody loves Jey Uso. You you pull the camera out really wide and you are seeing just everybody straight up yeeting. And I'm happy that we're getting to see Jey be a little bit, getting an opportunity to become a champion because I think he deserves it. It's time. And so many people, it's just incredible the talent that there is right now at the WWE. Just a lot of people that came out was like, fantastic. You deserve a chance. You deserve a chance. You're a great matchup. This would be a great matchup. This would be a great matchup. And the way that they were just able to oscillate between different wrestling styles and different rivalries. I just think the storylines were fantastic. I'm coming out of a blur. I'm not going to be able to review it like we will on the rest of the podcast. But just as far as like pure vibes go, it was such a fun time. I'm curious about how you guys celebrate. I don't typically get to watch these things live with people. And it was just such an electric experience with my friends. Like I said, we were drinking beer, eating pizza, and just a good classic time. Yeah, that was my initial reaction. So now we're going to continue on with the rest of the podcast. All right, everybody. And I am back in my studio. And by studio, I mean my living room. Guys, I'm looking back, I'm hearing back on my audio, and I gotta say, I still was pretty hyped about that PLE, Royal Rumble. Such a fun time. When we were there, I had this idea of doing a DoorDash Rumble, an Uber Eats Rumble, a Postmates Rumble. And if you are on TikTok or Instagram, you've seen these trends where you go on DoorDash for like a party of 8, party of 5, just any party size really, can go in, order random stuff on DoorDash, Postmates, and then everyone is kind of surprised what comes in. For example, it could be 5 of us. I order chicken wings, somebody orders pizza, another person orders burger, someone orders milkshakes. And so it's kind of like this fun little way of like getting food at a party, right? And I thought, hey, what about this? This would be a great idea. It lines up thematically with Royal Rumble, ding dong, something's at the door. Who is it? What is it? I don't know. Oh my God, it's chicken wings. Woo! Put on some theme music for the chicken wings as it comes through into the living room. We didn't do that, sadly. I don't think any of us were hungry enough to do that. We just did the standard pizza. As I said earlier, pizza, beer, chips, things like that. But I want to do this one day. And when I do, I will let you know how that turns out and what that order is. Another thing I forgot to mention that we did at the Royal Rumble party is my friend had this thing. I never experienced it before. So if you had, then you have. But for me, he made out a document and he was like, hey, women's Royal Rumble, men's Royal Rumble, pick a number. And that's the number you're going to be rooting for. He was just saying how this is a good system because we were bringing in people who don't really know wrestlers and they can't really bet on them. We didn't really bet. It was just kind of like a fun little game that we had. But we all kind of selected numbers. I picked, I believe, 20 for the women's wrestling and then number 7 for the men's wrestling. I thought it would be, someone in the men's wrestling who would just kind of go the distance all the way. But they didn't. My pick was Braun Breaker. So that was a nice surprise. And then my number 20 was Michin. I knew Michin wasn't going to make it, but still a fun pick. Still people who are willing to do street fights. These are street fight prone wrestlers. So I liked that. But it was a fun little thing that we all got to participate in, especially because you'd be waiting like, ooh, what is going to be my number 12? Who will it be? And that was a fun time as well, that we got to kind of incorporate into our gathering, into our little party. So Royal Rumble, re-listening to it, had such a good time. But I did realize that I typically start this podcast with a stat that states how long it's been since someone has gone through the announcer table. Now, I feel like at this point, I'm just going to be saying this on repeat until we get WrestleMania. But for the sake of just, continuing a new tradition, a new trend here, it's been 31 days since we had someone go through the wrestling table, through the announcer table, since January 6th. I also want to point out that I'm recording this before Raw, so I'm really hoping that nobody goes to that table. I mean, honestly, if someone does go through that table, I'll be happily surprised. So I'll be wrong there. But I am betting that they are waiting for WrestleMania so much that I'm willing to pre-record. As I say, I'm pre-recording because I'm going to New Orleans this week. I'm recording a little bit earlier. I'm going to New Orleans for work, and the Super Bowl will be happening there. Unfortunately, I won't be going to the Super Bowl. I'll be doing adjacent content surrounding the Super Bowl. So I'm getting all that out of the way. Gonna see Raw later. I'm flying out tomorrow. We'll see what happens, and I'm gonna have to find a way to sneak in my SmackDown at work. I do it anyway late at night. But man, I cannot watch stuff late at night anymore, guys. Every time I watch something late at night, I forget it the next day. Thank God for this, for the recaps in this podcast, because I would not remember a lot of what happened. And it's just like, I want to see it now. I want to know what happens, especially with social media just spoiling everything immediately. Even WWE obviously posting immediately. And look, I like going on social media, okay? I like seeing updates. I like seeing what's going on in the world. I'm interested in the entertainment business. I like to see what updates are happening. And unfortunately, I'm following, now all these wrestling stuff, and they're going to talk about it. So it's a lose-lose type of situation. Yes, I could wait on a day or so, but it's hard, guys. It's hard to do it, especially because I do another podcast where I'm trying to like post things on there and yada, yada, yada. So this is my conundrum. And so, yeah, I'll find time to watch SmackDown when I am in New Orleans. So that is the countdown or count up for the announcer table. But I'm going to pivot again to something else, something that I'm frustrated and upset about. For all the praise that we're giving Netflix, when will all the episodes of Raw drop on Netflix? Because I've been bamboozled in this deal here, guys. We have, yes, drones and higher definition visuals from Netflix and, all of these things. But where are my Raw episodes, y'all? I'm crying and I'm dying here. I'm curious about the international audience. They are getting the Raw and SmackDown on Netflix. Do you have access to all the Raw episodes on the Raw Vault? I was in the middle of July 1998 watching it. And I believe, again, my memory is poor. Fully Loaded, was that the PLE? I think it was. I needed to see the episode after Fully Loaded. And then Raw, it just doesn't have the episodes. Literally, I'm looking at Netflix right now. And we have June 29, 1998 is an episode, 26. And then it jumps to 39, September 28th, 1998. Then it jumps to October 5th, 1998, and so on and so forth. And this is just not the life I want to live, guys. I just came back. Are you expecting me? This is the warm welcome that I'm getting? No. So I had to find creative ways to get back into my Raw viewing habit. These creative ways don't allow me to see it in the pristine view that Peacock gave me, the WWE Network on Peacock, which is unfortunate. So I'm over here. I'm going to be trying to continue my journey on rewatching all of those Raw episodes, at least probably till like 2001, 2002, I think. And then who knows? We'll see where we go from there. But an exciting time, nevertheless, I feel like as a viewer, because I came in last WrestleMania and I really just been putting myself into this environment and seeing wrestlers coming back that have been gone for some time. I'm excited to see how we run creatively, how that messes with my expectations. I love it. I love that there's a history of these past wrestlers that I haven't, been familiar with. Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, I can go online, look at past matches, and it's kind of exciting. It's kind of nice. I'm in this weird place now where I'm getting more familiar and I'm losing touch with that whole first impressions. And it was interesting to get that at the party that I was at, for people to just be praising certain people who I may not have I may not keenly watch or keenly like. And for them, it just completely grabs them. And it just, again, blows my mind how wrestling, like, literally could be, you put a person there and one person can be, I love that person. And another person could be, I hate that person. It is so incredibly polarizing at times. And it's fascinating into the human psyche about what attracts us and what doesn't attract us, and what triggers us and what doesn't. But what makes you hate that is the reason why somebody loves that. So always a great time to go and see an event with a variety of fans to kind of give you fresh perspective and fresh eyes. And, they're coming. There's this new thing called COSM. I don't know if you've heard of it. Cosm is this almost incredible. They have this incredible, huge screen that's almost like dome-like. And you sit there and you feel like you're at the event. Now, I've never been to one. They've been hosting these for basketball games and such. And running off the hype of Royal Rumble with this new group of friends, they're getting excited for Elimination Chamber now. And so we wanted to do it at this place called Cosm. And Cosm has these huge screens. They did it in Dallas. There's a couple. I think the only ones I know are in Dallas and Los Angeles. There could be more. But they had it in Dallas for the Royal Rumble. You can go to cosm.com if you're interested. They put this on social media. Sometimes they put it as promotion stuff, obviously on WWE. Yeah, so I'm looking at their website. They have one in Los Angeles, one in Dallas, and the tickets are equally as expensive as sometimes as an event. Not as expensive as a, actual going to event, but they are in the $100, $75 range of prices here. Now I'm looking at the prices here. Elimination Chamber, 3:00. Let's see. Let's just look at some of these prices. I'm going to get tickets. Now, the Dome, that's the one that you really want. The Dome, starting at $132. At this point, a lot of it is sold out. If I wanted to get in that $132, $132 each. So you're paying a pretty penny for an immersive theater experience. And also, you're there with a lot of fans. I'm looking at, they also have the hall, which is just you're with a bunch of people. And those tickets are, I guess, $11. I guess that's not that bad. General admission, $22. So really the Dome is what you really want because you feel very immersed. So if you're ever in Los Angeles or in Dallas, they host events. They hold entertainment stuff, the Cosm. If you're in LA, it's going to be a thing you can participate in for Elimination Chamber. Also, we got word on some new content, right? There is a new show that's coming out called Evolve WWE. It's launching on Tubi, which is a ad-supported streaming service. They call it a FAST service, free advertised streaming service. There's Tubi, there's Pluto, there's Freevee, there's all of these type of streaming services that are free. You don't even have to really log in. You can just get in there. And this is a quote from Shawn Michaels. We're excited to work with our incredible partners at Tubi to showcase our young rising talent to the WWE universe as they start their in-ring journey competing each week to become a WWE star. So this is also going to be competing, I believe it's on Wednesday, and we'll be competing on with AEW. The show is named after the now defunct independent promotion of the same name that WWE bought out in 2020. They purchased Evolve Wrestling. WWE now has the complete right to use the Evolve brand and produce Evolve events, and will be run by the man who founded the original company, Gabe Spolaski, who is currently part of WWE's creative team. So March 5th, a month from now, it'll start streaming on Wednesday. And it's just a lot of, we're getting a lot of content, guys. We've another announcement, another partnership, another place to have ads, another thing to put into that ad era hat. There's going to be a lot of more WWE content. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me. Getting upset about Raw not being on Netflix. Had a great time watching Royal Rumble. And that's pretty much it for this week. I'm doing another short episode, getting ready to leave for New Orleans. I'll let you guys know how that goes next week on the After Dark. But, hey, guys, it's been such a pleasure talking to you again about wrestling. And hopefully next week we get to have some more updates. I get to bring up some more things that have come up. And we're just going to have a blast next week. All right, guys, this is the Chill Zone. We're just here to have a good time. Thank you guys so much for listening to WWE After Dark. Tune into my other podcast at Punch Drunk Nerd. Like I said, I'll be in New Orleans this week, so I won't be on that episode. It'll be my two other buddies, but we do have episodes every Friday. Punch Drunk Nerd. I'm on Threads at Louis12, LUWI12. And guys, until next time, see ya.